Day morning. I am excited to be seated here and to bring you the news for every segment. My name is Kwame Usudanso, aka She, aka Orokotopino, Obo Fandadefa, half metal, half stone, or half rock. I'm back on the screens now and I'm excited to be here. This morning we have a plethora of issues that we're going to be dealing with. Yesterday, unfortunately, we could not dissect the matters relative to the dialysis and Kolebu Teaching Hospital increasing the fees charged for dialysis, etc. Now, we will do that subsequently because it's important that we do that. But this morning, there are also other issues which require attention, equal attention, which has got to do with the Bank of Ghana, Occupy Bank of Ghana demonstration being organized by some minority political parties in the country and some civil society organizations. Now, you do know that there have been a lot of back and forth with the police administration in respect of the routes that will be used for the purpose of the demonstration today. Reason cited is that the Bank of Ghana is a security zone, it's a security area, and therefore it will be practically impossible for the police to allow the civil society organizations together with the political parties and minority in parliament to go to the premises of the Bank of Ghana to demonstrate. Now, a lot of people have raised concerns about it. The argument really has been in respect of the fact that it appears that the police is doing any and everything to prevent people from legally and legitimately demonstrating. It's been change the route, change the route, change the route, change the route. We won't allow, we won't allow, we won't allow. In most cases, the route which have been chosen by the demonstrators is not even a security area. But the police, however, tells us that, oh, it's a security zone. Now, yesterday I listened to, and by the way, Dr. Gariba is in fact, it's my big brother. But I listened to his response to the police hierarchy in respect of what transpired relative to the Julobi, occupied Julobi house or whatever. And you know, he indicated that there was an agreement sort of reached in the beginning. There were discussions which were had. In fact, I've lost my thought. What I actually wanted to say, I've lost my thought. Oh, but it was a very important point, and I found out to be very, 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 very strange. I will look for the statement that he issued, and then I'll try and recall, you know. But it's a very important point that I wanted to make on the show. I don't know how it escaped me. Yes, but you know, clearly the police is saying that per the Public Order Act, they can decide to, you know, of course, when they are notified, and they feel that the route that is to be used by the demonstrators will create some problems, will destabilize peace and order, they can suggest otherwise. And therefore, you know, they have every right and more to suggest other routes that will... What the point I wanted to make was that one of the reasons, and in fact, he said that because of the voters registration exercise, they had deployed the men to the voting centers, and therefore they didn't have enough men to provide security for the demonstrators. Now, the question that has been ringing in my mind is, if you said that you had provided men or you had deployed men to the voters registration, the districts, you know, for the purpose of the voters registration exercise, then you come back to say that, however, you had provided some 4,000 men, is it 400 men on standby so that they will respond to any unforeseen emergencies in the event that they happen. So why didn't you use these 400 men to provide security for the persons who decided to embark on this demonstration, the Jilobi demonstration? You know, so people are beginning to wonder why the police is acting the way it is acting, because, you know, we forget that the existence and the survival of our democracy is a mixed bag of different things. It's not by reason of the existence of just the Constitution. In fact, the Constitution makes pronouncements, makes profess rights and obligations on persons and things like that. And it is the fact that we have respected those provisions and those rights enshrined or embedded in the Constitution. That is why the most democracy that we have is thriving. So, for instance, if you look at Article 162, Clause 4, it tells you that no political party, no government official can prevent any media house from stating their positions in respect of certain matters. So, any media house, any private individual, whatever, who runs a media station or media organization can speak without let or hindrance, because it is a provision in the Constitution safeguarding it, and it is precisely the reason why our democracy is thriving. So when people are upset with a system, or when people are upset with a specific government, and on the basis of that they decide to demonstrate, okay, or express themselves through demonstration, I think the best thing to do is rather to allow them to vent their spleen. Otherwise, if they bottle their emotions up, they may explode, and we may not like the ramifications of the explosion. So it is important that we allow people demonstrate. And I don't know why continuously and consistently the police administration are doing things which obviously in the estimation of Ghanaians are at variance with common sense, are at variance with the Constitution, are at variance with several other things. Because you see, they use the Public Order Act. Public Order Act is an act of Parliament, yes, but it is subservient to the Constitution. The Constitution allows for the expression of rights, for the ability of people to coalesce, and to even demonstrate. The Constitution provides that. So if you are saying that the Public Order Act is telling you X, Y, the Public Order Act is subservient to the Constitution. And Article 1 of the Constitution is clear that we, this basic, forgive me, but my thoughts are a lot in my mind, so, but the Constitution is an embodiment of the will and the aspiration of the Ghanaian people. So let me just paraphrase it. That the Constitution is the embodiment of the aspirations and the will of the Ghanaian people. And that the Ghanaian people ought to protect the Constitution at any means and at any cost. And that if anything which is done contrary, anything that is done contrary to the Constitution, to the extent of that contradiction, it's null and void. And people can bring the attention of public institutions, of parastatals and state agencies to the fact that people are acting in ways are at variance with the Constitution. So the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So when we are acting, we must always act within the confines of law. Yes, you may use the Public Order Act, but the Public Order Act is subservient to the Constitution. So why can't we allow people to demonstrate? Why can't we allow people to demonstrate? And if the producers are available to call some of the demonstrators to me, for me, so that I can speak to them and know exactly what is happening. I know that in the wee hours of this morning, I do know that they had gathered at Obra Spot at Circle. I don't know what is happening now in terms of whether or not they are going to use the routes chosen by the police, or they are still going to go ahead with the route that they themselves decided to use. And again, yesterday I made the point here on the show that the route, dates, time are very significant to demonstrations, because you don't just want to coalesce and demonstrate. You want the demonstration to have some effect. You can only have the effect if the effect is analogous to, for instance, the date, the route, the destination that you have chosen. So if those things are taken out of the demonstration, then the significance or the effect may be lost. So it is not for nothing that people will sit and say that, oh, on the 21st of September, I want to embark on a demonstration. On maybe 6th of March, I want to embark on a demonstration. These are significant dates in the existence of the Republic of Ghana. So if people decide to demonstrate on these days, it means that it is very significant. And the significance of it is that government will be well aware that, listen, on this date, people demonstrated against me. On the date when Ghana officially or formally gained its independence, some people demonstrated against the establishment. So it is clear. So we should be very, very minded when we are acting in ways which, in my estimation, are at variance with the Constitution, are at variance with common sense, are at variance with conscience, are at variance with public policy. You know what I mean? In order that we can protect our young democracy. So I don't think that if the Bank of Ghana is a security place, that I think the police should explain to us what, because my question has always been, and I've not found any answer to it, that what is a security area? What is a security zone? I think they must explain to us why is it that the place is a security zone. Secondly, if Bank of Ghana is a security zone, then what about the court complex? Is the court complex also not a security zone? The court complex is also a security zone. So why is it that you are allowing the demonstrators use the court complex, but you don't want them to go to the Bank of Ghana, Bank of Ghana premises? These are questions that we ought to provide answers for. But who am I? Whom am I? Whom am I? I can only ask the questions. The answers, I believe, rests with the people, with the power, and with the authority. My name again is Kwame Usudan. So I'm going for this quick commercial break. On my return, we will look at these matters. My husband is not a magician. Nigerian First Lady tells critics, my husband is not a magician. Yes, for those of you who thought that Tinubu was a magician, for which reason you voted for him, Jagaban is not a magician. Jagaban is not a magician. Jagaban is not a magician. You people should stop disturbing him. Abide by security arrangements. Police urge minority occupied Bank of Ghana protesters. Limited voter registration ends today. Hey, I wonder if people have managed to register. Oh. NPP looting Ghana like there is no tomorrow. Kennedy Agyepong explodes. Hey, this one I've not seen it. Daily Post. We will discuss these matters. And I can see already my panelist there. She's eager and ready to come and dismantle and disband and disagree with Kennedy Agyepong on matters. Quick commercial break. Stay with me. The news review segment begins shortly.
We are located at Nungwa opposite ADB Bank. Call us on 0549 674269 or 0266 383956.
Hello, information.
Madam,
Me, I have still not got the money for that list of expensive building materials you sent to me. The price of the iron rods have been increased too much, hadn't it?
Madam, relax. Look, that's not why I even called. I just visited IPCP. What the engineers told me everything about Chosako fast floor.
Trahuako, please, those people are expensive. Are they not the people building those big houses in town? I beg don't catch a guy.
Madam, in fact, I used to think the same until I visited their office today and they gave me an estimate of how much it will cost. Yomo, the estimate is free. It's cheaper than the one I even sent you.
Wow.
Building contractors, foremen, masons. Visit IPCP, the Trasaco Fast Floor. Engineers will assist you build an affordable, faster, and stronger building.
Oh, madam. It is done.
Wow.
Trasaco Fast Floor. Stronger, faster, and affordable.
This is a Trasaco construction product.
Welcome to Ridge Royal Hotel. In the recent light of pandemic, we are taking utmost care to ensure the safety of our guests. We have to change with the times, and the hotel industry is used to change. Ridge Royal Hotel is located at number 1 Second Ridge, Cape Coast, Ghana. For more information, contact +233 031 200 3222. Email admin@ridgeroyalhotel.com.gh. Ridge Royal Hotel, richly inviting, comfortably yours. We look forward to welcome you soon.
Trasaco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasaco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasaco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call
It's also a little bit of a cliche. I mean, we're all used to the James Bond scene, as it were, with all the ambassadors sipping champagne and seeming to do nothing else but dine and sip champagne at receptions. That is not true. That is a misconception of the time and the nature of the work.
Diplomacy is not devoid of accountability.
Everything that matters in Africa matters to Europe as well. Be it demography, be it economy, be it security, be it culture.
Can somebody tell me where Ghana is found in Africa? Is it west? Is it south? Is it north? Is it east Africa? Which one? Any idea? Any idea?
It's like on the west.
It's like, this is what? I don't get.
It's to the south. It's to the west. To the west.
Okay. South American ambassadors represented.
I'm transforming the UN and making the UN more fit for business for Ghana is the prime objective that I have here.
You are one outstanding journalist, broadcast journalist.
Right, welcome back from that quick commercial break. If you just joined us, you're watching the News Power Review segment here on Pan-African Television with me, Kwame Usudan. So I am exhilarated this morning that you found the time to join us. And for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, let me say a big thank you to you for watching the show on Facebook. Grateful to you. I've been joined in the studios by Grace Akosia and Imam Boateng, government spokesperson on infrastructure for the obviously this current administration. Good morning to you. I trust you are well, Grace.
I'm fine, yourself.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
It's obvious.
The economy is economying.
Small.
Yeah, Gabriel Ateta, I can see her from the corner of my one eye. You know, I have an eye problem, so one eye can only see. So, Gabriela, I'm looking at her from the corner of my one eye. I don't know why she's late this morning, whether she wanted to embark on a demonstration or not. But you already, Central Region, people are trying to ask you, you don't come to shows early. Gabriela, me and you fight. My Rebecca, me and you will fight. Okay, no problem. But you are still my darling. Nobody can take that away. So yeah, Gabriela will join us very shortly. She's one of the most prolific communicators of the NDC. And of course, we all admire her. Forget the negatives and believe in the positives. Kwame Usuda also said so. All right. So before the break, I shared with you the topics that we're going to be looking at this morning. Obviously, we are discussing an African story which has to do with Nigeria. Yesterday, we considered a Nigerian story where they said Tinubu had actually increased the minimum wage of the Nigerian people. And, we have some nice words to say. But it appears that the people of Nigeria want more. And therefore, more is what we have to give them. Now, the First Lady is saying that her husband is not a magician. Her husband is not a magician at all. So you people should stop disturbing Tinubu, the one and only Jagaban. Stop disturbing him. Her husband is not a magician. We will deal with that matter here on the show. Also, abide by security arrangements. Police urge minority occupy BOG protesters. Ghanaian Times newspaper. Then, limited voter registration exercise ends today. And like I said, I wonder if a lot of people have managed to register, because we all know the issues which have characterized the registration. But hopefully, a lot more young people got the opportunity to register so they can exercise their franchise in 2024. MPP looting Ghana like there is no tomorrow. Kennedy Agyepong is exploding. He exploded, he's exploding, and he will be exceedingly exploding going forward. Daily Post is back. Gabriela, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Yeah.
Madam, how are you too?
I'm fine, yourself?
I'm good.
Looking good.
Thank you. I'm in red.
So what?
In support of the minority group.
From where are you going there?
No,
you
unfortunately.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'll have to miss the
this one
protest.
Why?
The last one I went, I suffered some physical damages, and it took 6 months.
To heal?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I've kind of relaxed on demonstrations.
Oh.
But I have other ways of also expressing my support, like showing up in red today.
Very well. Very well. Very well. You see, the first time I embarked on the demonstration was it was myself and after the Ayawaso West Wogon incident, we did some demonstration, if you recall. What was the name of it? They called it something. Oh, I've forgotten. I was there. Maybe if you say they could do better than me. But I was looking for my car to jump in.
No, the last one I went for was the voter register, the protest against the voter register.
Yeah.
The new register.
Yeah.
And the police decided to divert and send us on a longer route through Lands Commission, DVLA, Christ the King, and kept us there. So I had managed to do that whole walk to Jubilee House. And then by the time we got to Jubilee House, I was exhausted. I couldn't go further. So I truncated my protest there. But when I got back to my car and I removed my trainers, and I realized I had 2 blood clots in my big toes. So I actually lost my 2 toenails from that experience. And then I was told that I should limit how far I walk, because I have a lot of weight to carry on my 2 feet.
Okay.
And so to add long distances to it is
I see. We can express our disquiet or disquiet in different ways, like you've explained on the show. Make sure Kevin Taylor doesn't hear what you just said. Anyway, so let me start with you, Gabi. Let's go to Nigeria. Tinubu has not been in power for long. We even know that he was in court with Peter Obi over the alleged electoral fraud, characterizing the elections in Nigeria. So, literally, he started governance really pretty recently. But he's managed, yesterday somebody sent a message, said he's managed to increase the salary of the president and the ministers and judges. So if he has, but of course, increase the minimum wage by a certain percentage. This morning, the wife is telling us that the husband is not a magician. So he's taking things slowly, slow but sure, snail pace. You people are disturbing the old man. You allow the old man to breathe. You dey choke him. Do you agree with this, Gabriela?
Let me say good morning to our viewers. When they were contesting for the election, they didn't know that the man was an old man. Everybody kept telling me that the Nigerians, especially the Nigerian youth, who make up 60% of their 220 million population, said they preferred a younger candidate. Unfortunately, their wishes were not granted because we all know how the election was won. But be it as it may, he inherited or he took over a government that was also being administered by his own political party. So one would expect that there had to be some form of continuity in policy and programs, at least for the next 1 year when he wins, when he won the election. But this thing with the minimum wage increase, you know, the labor unions and the TUC served a notice that they were going to go on a demonstration starting from the 3rd of October. And so they had to increase the minimum wage to 25,000 naira, I think, a day to forestall that demonstration. And subsequent to that, the unions have also decided to suspend the demonstration for 1 month to see how things pan out. And then they will reconsider whether they hit the street again or what happens next. But this thing about whether the husband is a magician or not, I mean, promises are promises, you know. And when you are contesting for a position and you make promises that you are going to give the people better standards of living, you are going to enhance the economy, you are going to promote employment, you are going to increase the infrastructure assets of the country, you are going to work on security. And after almost a year of being in office, you've not even shown a semblance of delivering on any of that. He removed the subsidies on fuel. That alone has caused high cost of living to and hardship to a lot of Nigerians. Yeah. As it stands, they are suffering from a devalued currency.
Yeah, GDP has dropped. I think the only sector that is doing well is the services sector. But GDP has dropped. I've forgotten the percentage, but it has dropped. Agriculture has increased marginally, about from 1.2 to 1.5%. So that's just very marginal. So
and then there's inflation. Inflation has gone up 25%.
Yeah, 25%. Yeah. So
generally, for at least the time that he's been president, we can say that he's rather increased the hardship in the system. For some months now, I've been trying to study the issue of terrorism and piracy within the sub-region. And so I've been listening to a lot of documentaries, watched a lot of documentaries on the youth in particular, but especially the conditions that drive the Nigerian youth. And from the Delta area, because that's where a lot of these pirates are operating from, clearly there's a huge issue with drawing in FDIs and job creation. You know, when you go to the Delta area, they have a lot of vessels coming in, especially for oil, right? To take out oil for export. But these companies are largely, predominantly managed and operated by foreigners. So there are communities where they have oil, they have access, they see these vessels coming in and take their resources away, but they don't have job opportunities. So to the extent that, Kwame, you have a whole community where even the traditional rulers are sanctioning piracy in that region, because that is how they get money into their communities. So Tinubu has a lot to do for Nigeria. And whether he's a magician or not, he's made promises to the people, especially the youth, and has to be seen to be delivering. I am one of those, for now, I'm one of those ones who's against having old people govern this continent, because I think that, one, the youth form the majority. The youth have a clear vision and are more current in the state of affairs globally compared to the older generation. And the youth, if anybody should know what will drive the youth and move our countries forward, I think that it is the energies of the youth that is going to achieve that.
That's quite arguable, because in the same vein, there's been discussions about whether or not the young people that we've found in positions of power have helped their likes, because your party, for instance, NDC, has relatively some of the young people in active, playing active, in active roles. Let me just leave it like that, at that. But that position that they held did not transcend to the youth of your party, by extension the younger people of this country. And that is why a lot of people, in the estimation of some people have engaged, are saying that that's why there's some discontent with your party, because the young people did, even though they got the opportunity, they couldn't extend any shoulder of support to any of these young people. I'm just saying, for the purpose of argument. For the purpose of argument, I also disagree with you. Okay. Because I worked in the Vice President's office, and I worked on the policy. Some of my recommendations made it into the reforms for JIDA. And I know how we decided that we are going to allow YEA to partner the private sector and to provide labor to the private sector. Because you see, a lot of people, when the party comes to office, they want government jobs because it's more secured. But the reality of the matter is that if you go for a government job, your job appointment expires with the government. If you go into public service, there's a limit what quota can be allowed into the public service. Today, as we speak, our current wage bill for the public sector alone is well over 35% of our GDP. Now, clearly, there's a ceiling for every government ought to place on wage and compensations, wages and compensations in the public service. Else you have nothing else for goods and services. Once you clear amortization and interest and debt payment, there's nothing else left for you. So there's also a cap how much you can take in the public service. The focus then is how to drive the private sector and to get the private sector to create more jobs. The focus of the NDC in 2009 to 2016 was a lot on the services sector and even services So and under services we had infrastructure, yes, but under the finance, under the services sector we were chasing more for finance. Because that was the time that we were also pushing for the microfinance sector to grow. Absolutely. So that we could get more grassroots people, SMEs, micro enterprises to secure funding and to grow. But sometimes it's difficult to get our young people to move into that trajectory because they want the comfort that public services provides. And as I said, there's security, a cap. Not comfort necessarily. Well, fine, but there's a cap on how much you can absorb. You see, and I think that where NDC and NPP differ in this argument is that the NDC respects that cap. The NPP, on the other hand, when they came into office, the first thing they did was to pour so many people into the public sector, and now the wage bill has now gone up and it's caught up with them. So let's not
say that the NDC did not do much for the youth. That one I beg to disagree.
No, I didn't say that.
If you look at also,
I didn't say that. You're
talking about what the youth in the party has done for the youth.
You say that you contributed to policies in respect of GIDA, correct? So yes, well, I'm saying that there were people who were appointed by President Atanos, may he so rest in peace, who were relatively very young.
Many of them at that time were put in deputy minister positions.
Yes.
But deputy minister positions, you are at the instructions of your minister.
No, but
there are many sectors that was what your minister says you can do, that you can do.
But what do they use their position to do to help other young people? That's what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying that
they help them get jobs, they help them get scholarships. I know so many young people who today are strong Democrats for the NDC, because when the NDC came to office, they helped to facilitate foreign scholarships.
And how does that translate to national development?
But if you've that, I mean, nothing beats education. Education is
but
the number one investment.
What about the person who lives in Fanchinebra, who doesn't know somebody who knows the deputy minister?
They were
I'm talking about
in
policies.
Agriculture.
No,
there are policies. No, there are programs in agriculture that support. While focus is on small enterprises. That's why they had microfinances set up everywhere across this country. That is why in agriculture we haven't had a free fertilizer policy to support those who are into cocoa production and other
so why
crops.
is it that agriculture is unattractive to the youth?
Agriculture is unattractive to the youth. Some youth, those who have decided to go into agriculture, have seen the benefits of agriculture. All enterprises is open to where your passion lies. There are people who think that they don't have the patience to sit and watch a crop grow, mature, nurture, and produce. Some crops, if you are doing vegetables, can take 6 weeks to 12 weeks, and you can harvest your crop. There are some crops that can take as much as 3 years, 5 years, and a lot of people don't have patience for that kind of things. So, Kwame, as much as you want to chastise some of our young people and think that they didn't do much for the youth, I beg to differ on that score. That there are a lot of success stories. There are a lot of success. There are a lot of success stories. There are a lot of success stories of the NDC, and even in the area of health, she's for infrastructure, so she'll come and blabber on and on about Agenda 1 and all that. Even in the area of health, when you look at the number of CHIPS compounds and the hospital facilities that the government constructed, it was under administration that we did the highest recruitment, 69,000 nurses and other medical support staff into the health sector.
You know what I can't contest?
What's that?
I can't contest the fact that under the NDC administration, a lot of investments were made into ensuring that we had a thriving middle class. That one I can't take away from you. So that's one I agree with you, all right? But I'm only saying, and you are being disingenuous when you say that, but
you are chastising us.
I can't chastise.
That's exactly what you are trying to do.
Because of what happened on Saturday, you are carrying it on.
You are the one who wants to be mischievous. What happened on Saturday?
No, you know what happened on Saturday.
I don't know what happened on Saturday.
It's okay, leave it at that. Let me come to you, Grace, on this Nigerian subject matter, please.
Thank you. Let me use this opportunity to greet your viewers, your cherished viewers, and then my sister Gabriela, and then your very good self.
Thank you very much.
The coffee smells nice.
Even though you didn't call me, you know.
Apologies. I tried.
Oh, you did?
I tried once, and then I couldn't reach you, so I thought you were probably enjoying yourself somewhere.
My number is do not disturb, but when you call twice, it will come.
Well, maybe if I try the second time.
You see, you don't have patience. The patience I can relax. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. So, Kwame, I'm wondering why your stories for today didn't capture any of our good stories yesterday.
Oh, something happened yesterday?
Of course, something very nice happened yesterday.
You see, those things that happen, they don't call us to cover. So,
are you sure?
Oh, ask my producers.
We are not limited to those we call to cover. Everybody is eligible to come and cover. Once you are in Ghana, you have a media house that is in Ghana.
You see, the the ministries we have in this country, they have their specific radio and TV.
No, not at all. Not my ministry. Ministry of Information.
But my wife's friend is Agyepong. Agyepong has never invited us for anything.
Oh, no. If you guys don't have a press call with us, then I can pick it up, and then when I go, we work on it so that you can come to our press briefings. No, you are just telling me.
Oh, you know you
don't. When we have a press briefing, we have all the press houses, like the media houses across the country.
But why else would Pan-African television not be there?
No. I'm saying you are now telling me, because I never knew you guys did not have a press call with us. So I'll take it up.
Yes, madam.
Since you've just told me. Yeah, so yesterday at Abomosu, something happened. That is our STEM education, or science, technology, engineering, mathematics education that we've introduced into our education system.
I just wanted you to touch on this
Tinubu
thing briefly.
Oh, okay. Before I go into, I didn't want to forget, because you guys have not stated you didn't add any of that in your topics.
Blame your friend. Bless the topics.
When I finish, I'll go and do with him. So Nigeria, Gabi has touched on that. She's spoken extensively about Tinubu and all of that.
Yeah.
I think Nigeria as a country expects so much from Bola Tinubu Ahmed, because, well, before I even go into that, whatever made him or led him to be declared as winner for their 2023 general elections is also another matter for another day, another topic for another day.
Yeah.
But then most Nigerians are aggrieved. And then, in spite of the court's ruling about who won the elections, which of course is Tinubu, or which of course has been declared, ruled out as Tinubu, people are still aggrieved. And then, you know, when people do not like the outcome of an election, they tend to have a lot of, they tend to criticize a lot of policies and then programs that the winner or whoever is declared as winner brings out. So Nigeria's case, I sympathize with them. I know times are hard. You know, I am somebody that is a bit acquainted to Nigerians, because I have sat in classroom with some of them. I've stayed in the same area with some of them. I'm very much used to Nigerians. I have a lot of friends who are Nigerians. And there are times that I even get stories from Nigeria that I don't get to read on Google or I don't get to watch on TV. I have people over there who tell me directly from there, like who give me the information right from there. So looking at where their inflation figure has risen to 25.8%, that is about a 17-year-old long. In the last 17 years, they haven't seen such a surge in inflation. It tells you that the economic situation in Nigeria has already been on the rocks before Tinubu's this thing into office. And the man is still very new. But then the economic situation across the globe isn't favorable anywhere. Finance ministers across the globe have all become unpopular because nowhere cool. Things are hard everywhere. And from my point of view, I think the man is still quite new in office. And to have increased their minimum wage to that percentage and all of that, I think he has plans and then he's ready to deliver on his mandate. But then I feel Nigerians generally are aggrieved, like I said earlier. They don't like the outcome of the elections, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any easy. But for his wife to also say he isn't a magician and that Nigerians should give him time, I think that is also another matter for another day. I just believe that across the globe, nowhere is doing well. Nobody's economy is doing very well. Even countries that we look up to, the Americas, the Germany, the UK, and all of that, things are hard. Things are quite hard. Everyone seems to be now recovering, or every economy seems to be recovering from the shock of the economic crisis as a result of the twin crisis, external twin crisis, that's the COVID, and then the Russia-Ukraine war. And then here in Ghana, domestically, we had our own issues. That is the excess capacity charges from the take-or-pay capacity charges or take-or-pay agreement from the previous government, and then the banking sector cleanup exercise that we had. So Nigeria is not spared from any of these. I know apart from the external issues or external shocks from COVID and Russia-Ukraine war, they also have their own internal issues that they are dealing with. And then for Tinubu to take up office or to come into office this past few months, I'll plead with Nigerians to give him some time to, you know, settle down and then put measures in place to ensure that the economy bounces back. Whether or not that is going to be a success depends on how Tinubu himself rolls out policies to ensure that he's able to deliver on his mandate. So nowhere cool. Well, all I can say is everywhere is hard. Nobody has taken it easy. Yeah. Everyone is having their own difficulty, their own problems and all of that. So that is all I can say about the Nigeria's
situation.
Yeah.
Very well. Let me allow you to touch on this STEM briefly because the topics do not have STEM on it. So
yes, and of course, thank you for allowing me because I was going to find a way to chip it inside.
Yeah.
So Ghana has taken a new turn on education. We are trying to look into science, technology, engineering, mathematics education on another level. We are not saying that we do not have science schools or we're not offering science courses earlier on. Ghana has always offered science programs, but then this STEM education centers or focuses on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And then we are building several schools across the country to ensure that we are able to deliver on this. So 5 out of these number of schools that we are building specifically for STEM education are ready. Abomusu is one. Abomusu has already enrolled about 618 students, out of which we have 320 boys and then about 298 girls. It started in 2021. And yesterday we had a road show there just to tell Ghanaians, yes, about STEM education is inception. Like students have enrolled and it has started and it's ongoing. So Abomusu is one. And of course, Kwame, you've seen the buildings. It's like somebody's, 5 of somebody's combined. Abomusu, the STEM schools are, when you are watching it from a distance, you may think it's a university or something, very state-of-the-art facilities, science laboratories and all of that. So we are trying to look at science in a deeper, science on a deeper level than the science that we already know. What I mean by this is that if you have a science student, or normally we know our science students, you normally ask a question like, what is matter? And the person defines matter as anything that has weight and occupies space. But then with STEM education, we won't ask you what is matter. We will ask you that there was a flood in Accra recently. 2 weeks ago it rained, Friday, was it last week or last 2 weeks? There was a heavy downpour. So you get a STEM student and then you won't really ask that, what is matter? But you ask them, so the rains or the flood that occurred in Accra, what are some of the programs or what are some of the measures you can put in place to ensure that we deal with flood once and for all? And then being a STEM student, he or she should be able to answer you and give you all the practicalities and all of that. Because we have each STEM school has about 12 science laboratories. And then each laboratory caters for robotics. Three laboratories caters for robotics, 3 for chemistry, 3 for physics, 3 for biology. So you have this number of laboratories, you have the facilities and everything. We expect that having a practical way of learning or moving away from the normal what is matter or the normal theoretical way of learning science in Ghana, you should be able to think and then put measures in place to ensure that when there's a problem, you help us solve the problem. You know, Methodist Girls has won 2 or 3 medals on when they went out to compete with their counterparts on robotics. And sometimes I wondered if really a school from Ghana had won such a worldwide competition, because Ghana and Africa is not noted for having that high level of intelligence in terms of machines and all of that. But our STEM education is focusing on artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, and other stuff like that. And apart from Abomusu, we have Awaso, Pasenpe, Bosomchi Girls STEM School, and then Bosomchi Boys STEM School, Accra High STEM School. And all of that is just the same as, the mandate is just the same as the Abomusu or the explanation I've just given.
I think you need to come and buy airtime so that we give you time to discuss this.
You see the staff bungalows, the girls' dormitory, the boys' dormitory, all of that. And I'm very particular about this Bosomchi Girls STEM School because it's the first ever STEM school or a school that is focusing on only girls in the STEM education. No, Ofuase.
No, education minister.
Oh yeah. He's from, I think he's from Jachi or something. Or Bosomchi. Is it Bosomchi?
No, close to Bosomchi.
Yeah, it's close. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's still Ghana. Bosomchi is part of Ghana. So I'm very happy about that one. That's STEM school. And there are also some existing schools that have been turned into STEM schools.
I agree with you. But
and then
this one,
Accra High STEM School.
You have to buy airtime.
Kwame, let me talk.
054
you are cutting me.
9
you let me talk.
674 269 0549 674 269. That is the number to Cook's Looks. If you want to look good, like I'm looking good this morning, make sure you call in for all your suits. If you want suits for weddings, if you want suits for even demonstrations, if you want to wear a suit for demonstration, you can get, it from Cook's Looks. He's in Nungwa, but he can deliver. If you know your size and you call him, he will deliver. So the suit that I'm wearing this morning, Sky Kesiku, you won't say I'm looking handsome. Yeah, I'm not looking handsome. You said it, she did it.
I will tell you after the
when the love is on the rocks, that's what happens.
I don't think so.
When they see you grind, they see you like Akai.
Oh, I don't think so. Gabi will give you all this thing after the show.
0549 674 269. That's the number for Cook's Looks. Kindly call him. When you call him, use the promo code KOD Pan-African Television. He will give you a discount. So just call him right now and get him to give you a suit. Even the one that I'm wearing, you see, The watch, the socks. I wish the producer could put a camera on my socks so you can see the socks that I'm wearing. But everything is the tie, everything, all the accessories are from Cook's Looks. The number again is 054 967 4269. All right, Gaps, let me come back again to you. Actually, let me start with you because you couldn't attend the demonstration, but you are here to sort of demonstrate in another way. So let me start with you. The police is saying you should abide by the security arrangement. If my memory serves me right, and if the data that the producer shared with me is right, about 4 demonstrations have been prevented or have been marred with challenges of route, where the police is either saying, no, you use here, then the demonstrators are saying, we won't use here, we'll use here. What is the problem, Gabi? What is the problem?
Before I go into that, let me make some few comments on oratory, on STEM schools. You know,
I thought you
when it comes to the education sector, this NPP has a penchant of exaggerating every single thing in the education sector, as if when you did a pen, you didn't even come with pen.
I need it. Gabi.
Let me say to one. As if without the NPP, there was no education in this country. You talk about free SHS. They'll tell you 1.6 people have benefited from free SHS. As if prior to free SHS, children were not attending schools. With this, their STEM, whatever they are trying to do, Kwame, she's replicating the same narrative with her STEM agenda. As if prior to these STEM schools, this country did not have students who were focusing on science, technology, education, engineering and mathematics. I went to Wesley Girls. Under Rollins, we had the science resource laboratories in the schools. Wesley Girls was one of the beneficiaries of that program. And a lot of the girls we produced in the sciences are excelling across the country. Let me say it on record that even when you come to even the art side, all Chief Justices, females, have been products of Wesley Girls. But let's stay on STEM. Let's stay on STEM.
Who attended Achima Secondary School?
That is your choice.
Go ahead.
Look, at the time when Rollins inaugurated these science resource center programs, there was a lot of focus on getting the girl child involved in science, technology, and mathematics. Today, do you know that when you go to the medical school, they'll tell you the record of Wesley Girls, 60% of the female intake are always from Wesley Girls. So if for nothing at all, I have seen the investments of NDC, PNDC, NDC administration in science, technology, and mathematics pay off. My own alma mater is proof of that. These are STEM schools that they are talking about. They are yet to even recruit one single student. Stop distracting me. They are yet to recruit even one single student who we are going to see what they'll make out of their lives. So please, tone down on the rhetoric on STEM. I think that is the solution to all our problems. Even the free SHS crowd, we're having issues with it. Then, Kwame, you see, I don't know why government is thinking that when you segregate education into sectors and then you focus these people on just the sciences. So all the students who are in that system are purely for the sciences. I don't know how they think that those students are going to mature and be able to socialize with the other classes. Look, when you come to even UST, which was constructed predominantly on science and technology.
You mean KNUST?
KNUST. Now I've mentioned your alma mater, so now you're at ease. Even KNUST, that was modeled on science and technology. Today, they've incorporated humanities, arts, and social sciences. Am I lying? I lie.
Make your point.
So the point is that this idea that if you segregate and focus strictly on a particular discipline in a school, it's going to create some phenomenal individuals. I'm not sure that really is the case, because the case of KNUST has proven that that theory doesn't necessarily hold water. All the science bias schools are going into humanities as complements. It builds up and you get a more comprehensive, holistic individual, rather than focusing everybody on sciences. And then she says that the focus of their STEM is on artificial intelligence. So nobody is going to ask them questions like, what is matter? You've told that it rained, there was floods. How are you going to solve it? You, the adults, could not figure that one out. It is the poor children that you are depending on to come and you the ones who claim to have designed this program in this school could not figure that one out. It is these poor innocent children who you are refusing to teach the basics of science, that what is matter, but you prefer that they go straight into advanced geography and advanced physics to come and explain flooding situation and how to solve flooding.
Proceed.
Let's go to the protest. That's the one that my party is interested in.
Right.
So your question to me was, why are we not following the route that the police? I don't think the NDC...
My question was, why is it that the police is always preventing people from using the routes that they choose? Because of the significance of the routes, significance of the dates, significance even of the time, you know?
I can't speak for the police. You need to get their PR to come and explain their position themselves.
But why are you disagreeing with the police?
But I, for one, I was disappointed that they disagreed on the routes and it had to be changed. You know, the initial one was from Parliament to Ministry of Finance, and I was really looking forward to the one that stops at Ministry of Finance. The last time I was here, was it you that were having the conversation and you were asking why Ministry of Finance? I felt that the Ministry of Finance stopover should have happened, so that Kinoforiata will see the crowd and the numbers and the colors and know that he's next. Whether he likes it or not, he's the next to go. But, well, I think now they've agreed on the route. What I still disagree with is why they are asking the minority and the demonstrators to go past NLA to Independence Square and not Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana is just at the corner of the Supreme Court and the old Parliament House. If parliamentarians are going to demonstration, what best than for them to stop over at the old Parliament House? It's still part of the history of our parliament and legislation in Ghana. My Ghana police said they should go to Independence Square. What is Independence Square? They didn't even tell them to go to Art Center or the entrance to the Art Center. Independence Square, as if we are going to fight for liberation for independence. I seriously disagree with the Ghana Police Service. And why Bank of Ghana should come to Independence Square for whatever protest notice they want to give them. They should allow at least the leadership of the demonstrators to go to Bank of Ghana. If it's a crowd that you think that you'll not be able to manage, then you let the leadership of the demonstrators go to the Bank of Ghana and serve notice. What's the big deal about that? It's not like we have some big vaults deep there that is carrying all the monies in this country.
You never know.
Don't we see the vans passing the streets every single day? Who bothers to stop the Bank of Ghana vans to loot those vans? Not to talk of the building itself. Frankly, I think that this whole thing with the police, of late, I don't know, their modus operandi of managing demonstrations is becoming worrisome. The whole thing with the security threats in West Africa, and so, I mean, look, if there's terrorism in Burkina, it hasn't even crossed to Tamale, and you think that we should be concerned about the terrorism threats in Accra? If terrorists are coming, they from the north, they forfeit Techiman, what's it called? Tamale, Damango, all these areas come straight to Accra. How do these people think that we reason? So you come and tell us because for security reasons and the security threats in the sub-region, we think that you should divert and go to the Independence Square. Seriously, Ghana Police, you need to really look at some of your comments on protest in this country. The similar thing happened also with when these young people decided to go and occupy the Jubilee House. My position on demonstrations is, Kwame, if you have people who have pent up feelings about anything and they want to demonstrate, allow them to demonstrate and get it off their chest than to have them harbor it within them and build up energies that you can't control in the medium to long term. What the minority is doing serves the interest of this whole country. We have sat here for this governor and his management to run down our central bank to the tune that today we have a debt of over 60 billion. This central bank governor and his management have plowed over 20 billion printing into an economy without any productivity backing it. They've ended up running inflation. When this country, when our currency started depreciating by almost 50%, and we're wondering what the hell was going on, not realizing that this was artificially created by managers of the economy who should have known better, that there are consequences to the actions they were taking. But because of their own selfish parochial interests and never thinking about what is in the interest of the broader Ghanaian society, they decided to go ahead, print money into the economy, run deficits, get themselves into all kinds of debts, which unfortunately now we can't even pay, and we are forcing even pensioners to forfeit their pensions so that government can still run. If this is not the heart of wickedness and deceit and deception of leadership in this country, then tell me what else is. A government and its managers and cronies who have run down our economy, imposed serious hardships on people, and they are never satisfied. They've become like bloodthirsty vampires who are never satisfied with impoverishing the poor Ghanaian. It's as if whenever they go for cabinet and they go for meetings, every single thing on the agenda has to be, how do we hammer the poor people of Ghana? That is just the agenda of this NPP administration. And Governor Anderson, who is an offshoot of this administration, because of his mismanagement, his incompetence, his deceit, his deception, he has to go. And today he gets his notice that the people of Ghana are saying he must resign. So for all those who are watching us, please, if you have read words and go and join the demonstration, we have to take the economy back from these people, else they'll vampire all of us.
Grace.
Okay. Gabby decided to go into my STEM education. And I'm not going to let her go scot-free.
All right.
When it comes to education, when it comes to education, I have time for you. Gabby herself knows that this current NPP government has made some giant strides in our education sector.
Proceed.
You know, the facts are there to support our claims. I won't just sit here and talk about STEM and just for talking about sake. I have facts to support what I said. Under the previous former President John Mahama NDC-led government, there was nothing like national standardized text. A research was conducted on learning poverty, which normally occurs in kids in the lower primary schools. So from class 4 up to class 6, a child is impoverished in terms of learning because all they know is that they sit in class, they are made to read a book, and that is it. Sometimes you call a class 4 people, give him a book. He's in class 4, the book is a class 4, is modeled for class 4. He will read the words for you and everything, but when you ask them to interpret what they read, after the fact that he was able to read, he's not able to interpret what he read. So that is learning poverty. So after the research, we decided to form, start a national standardized test whereby kids from class 4 up to class 6 are tested in their learning capacity or their ability to be able to interpret what they read before they get to upper primary or before they get to the junior high level. Because we don't have anything like an external exams for lower primary and upper primary pupils. All we have is BECE. So the first time the child gets to write an external exams is BECE. So the fear and then the panic alone can even make him or her fail the exams. This national standardized test was introduced under this government, and it is doing magic out there. It is really helping correct that learning poverty that I mentioned earlier on. We also know that there's a big gap between the northern and southern schools, which needs to be bridged. Northerners are very, very intelligent. I admire them a lot. This government has rolled out a policy, and on June 2022, they launched it, there's going to be a research that will be conducted on how to bridge the gap between the northern and southern schools. And then Gabby was talking about the fact that we have science schools already. She used her school, Wesley Girls, as reference and all of that. When I started talking, I acknowledged the fact that we admit that we have science schools. Ghana has always, students in Ghana have always offered science. Oh, I did. Maybe you were not listening. Students have always offered science in Ghana. So this term is not something like, there isn't anything like science in Ghana, and the STEM is going to be the first form of science education that is being introduced. That is not what we are trying to say. What we are trying to say is that when you look at science to humanity ratio, it's normally between, the humanities are always on top, like always above the sciences. That is because science students are able to branch from science to the humanities. So he'll go to senior high school, read science, and then when he gets to the tertiary level, he can just branch to the social sciences, do sociology, psychology, and all of that. Back in the university, during my first degree, I had friends who were offering fiscal science in level 100, and then by level 400, you ask them, what are you offering? They will tell you psychology. But then you won't get a psychology student who has been able to branch from psycho to go and do the sciences. So we are trying to bridge the gap between the science to humanities courses, and at least it should be 60:40. So if 60 students are offering the humanities, at least 40 students should be offering science. And that is going to be possible with a flagship the program that we've introduced at UMatt and then Pentecost University, whereby students who specifically go through this term education or who read science in senior high school will go to UMatt or Pentecost University to do a year program where they can branch from, if it's a humanities or if it's the social sciences that they did in senior high school, where it can prepare them enough to branch from the social sciences to the pure sciences, so that there wouldn't be anything like science students are always able to branch from science to humanities, but then humanities are not able to branch from this thing to science. And then when you look at a country like, is it Venezuela, one of those countries, they have they produce about 100,000 engineers specifically every year. So all these tech companies, when they load their goods and they pack their bags and baggages, they want to site their head offices and their headquarters in those countries, because they know that at the end of the year, if they don't get crowd, they'll get about 50,000 students who have specifically been trained for engineering to work in those companies. We don't have anything like that in Ghana. So we've introduced this STEM education to mop up or to whip up engineering education and studies.
I told you,
to help
you need to buy airtime.
Let's look at it. Okay,
I want to use your time for that.
Yeah, I was trying to, the bank what Gabby said.
If you want to use your time, that's fine.
Okay, well, I'll come to the Bank of Ghana something.
There's a resource just there for everybody to see.
No. So if you tell me, sir, if you sit here and tell me that, and look at how this free, even TVET, even Gabby, I didn't cut you when you were talking. Please let me make myself. Let us stop talking.
Make your point.
Look at free TVET. Now we have free TVET, tertiary vocational this thing. That is also taking a new turn. This STEM that I was talking about, we have a model school in East Legon that is specifically designed to train students or pupils from kindergarten to senior SS3, where it's just STEM education that the person goes through. Look at how technical education and vocation has taken another this thing in Ghana. Now, they use 3D learning or 3D form of teaching to help the students to learn this soldering and the wiring and what's the one that they use there? What's that one?
Welding.
Is it welding and all of that? Where the students sit in class and it's as if he is in some form of machine learning. So when he is done, you ask them to come and practice what they learned. It's very easy for them to Kwame, they just go to ATTC, Accra Technical. You go and see machines. Go and then you yourself go and see machines that we've bought to help with this TVET and all of that. So when it comes to education or when it comes to works that have been done in the education sector under this government, we've done so much that they couldn't do. Now, no guarantor policy for students has been made possible under this government because of Ghana Card. Because each person has a Ghana Card that has a unique identity. And as I talk to you, about 16 million Ghanaians have their Ghana cards and it has that unique identification code. It is that unique identification code that made it possible for us to track number of ghost names on our national service payroll, whereby about 114 million Ghana cedis is saved every year to help us increase our revenue in terms of national service. And then when you go to SNET, we had ghost names in SNET, and that was costing government about 307 million every year. Now, all of that has been taken care of because of the Ghana Card. And this same Ghana Card is now making it possible for students to get a loan without bringing in guarantee and all of that. So all of this will tell you, say, we are making some strides in our education sector. That needs to be acknowledged. Whether party A or party B, what needs to be done, or what needs to be acknowledged, needs to be acknowledged. So that is just something briefly about the, let me quickly go into the Bank of Ghana issue. So Gabby was talking about some whatever, monies that was printed, 20 million. this 60.8 billion loss from BOG is not from whichever money money was printed underground or something. It is from 50% haircut on non-marketable holdings of the government of Ghana debt instruments under the domestic debt exchange program. And that catered for about 32.3 billion Ghana cedis. After that, impairments of marketable instruments also accounted for 16.1 billion, bringing the debt or the loss under, with BOG to 48.4 billion Ghana cedis. And then, as experienced by central banks in the world, globally, price and exchange rate movements also led to 5.2 billion Ghana cedis. And of course, loans from Cocoa Board also amounted to 4.7 billion Ghana cedis. So when you put all of these figures together, you get 60.8 billion Ghana cedis. Let me quickly remind Gabi that the core mandate of Bank of Ghana is to be policy solvent. By a policy solvent, what I mean is that Bank of Ghana's mandate is to ensure price stability, inflation targeting, and also to ensure that our financial sector is stable. Bank of Ghana is not a profit-making venture whereby you can go and then ask them, oh, of course, they made losses and they made it public. Everybody knows they made losses. But then they are not a profit-making venture where you tax them that, oh, at the end of the year, they can make profits. But at the end of the year, you have to make this amount of money or this amount of profit to be able to, you know, for everybody to know you are doing well. Once they are policy solvent, they are doing their inflation targeting, they are ensuring that we have prices that are stable, or they are ensuring that we have price stability, they are ensuring that our financial sector is stable. That is their core mandate. So if they are able to do that, whatever they run, whatever laws they run or something, yes, it's liable to be talked about. We can't say we won't talk about it. But then once they're able to be policy solvents, that is what they are mandated for. That's what they are supposed to do. And they are also banker of last resort. All the other banks look up to them. When they need help, when they have to be held, their hands has to be held, monies have to be given to push them to, you know, it is Bank of Ghana that does all of that. So when I talked about the 50% loss from the domestic debt exchange program that was absorbed by Bank of Ghana, no other bank could have absorbed that kind of money. It is Bank of Ghana that had to absorb the money and take all the burden. And then it is not only Bank of Ghana that is in this soup. But central banks across the globe have also experienced one loss, one way or the other. What this current government of Ghana or this loss from Bank of Ghana is not peculiar to Bank of Ghana alone. So if you look at the Reserve Bank of Australia, in 2022, they recorded a loss of 37 billion Australian dollars. Come to UK government, England also lost about 150 billion Great British pounds. The Swiss National Bank, SNB, also lost 132 billion Swiss francs in 2022. And then in September 2022, the Central Bank of Netherlands also lost about 9 billion euros. And then you come to the US Federal Reserve, they also lost some amount of money in 2022. So when you put all of these together, these are banks, these are countries that have, bigger countries that are first world countries that are doing very well in terms of their finances. So you ask yourself that, why would a bank like Swiss National Bank record a loss of 132 billion francs? So recording a loss is not peculiar to Bank of Ghana alone. Bank of Ghana is also liable to record a loss. It's possible for them to also record a loss. And then to touch briefly on the demonstration or the protesters, I think it's hard time that since our constitution permits that you can go out and then demonstrate when you have a grievance. Nobody is against anybody demonstrating. You can go out there and then tell government that you are aggrieved, you are not happy about something. You are permitted by law to do that. But then I know the police is also in a position whereby they can direct you on which route you should use, which route you should not use. I think we should make our work difficult and work easy for ourselves. Like we should make each other's work easy. By abiding by the rules and the regulations. So recently we saw what happened with the Jubilee House, occupied Julobi House, where they were being told that Jubilee House is a high security zone, whereby you can't cross a certain path. That is the seat of presidents, for crying out loud. We have civil servants also there. So if not for anything at all, where your president sits or somewhere that the seat of president should be given some form of respect. We are not saying don't demonstrate, but if the police is asking you use a particular route, I think you should listen to what the police is saying. I think it's in their position to tell you where you should go or which route you should use and which route you should not use. And the same thing applies to this BOG, Occupy BOG demo. They should just listen to the police. They should go ahead and register their grievance, but they should abide by what the police tell them on which route or they should use or not use, so that it makes each other's work easy. And I'm sure by using in a particular route that you are directed to use, you are still able to register your grievance. You are still able to tell government that we are not happy about this or that, and that we want you to do something about it. You don't necessarily have to flout the rules and then use a particular one, the route that you want to use, just to create public tension or something. They should just abide with the police and work with them to ensure peace and harmony. So that's all I can say.
Gabi, you want to respond to a few things, I'm sure.
A lot.
Okay.
Out of 195 countries, we can quote only 8. And you want us to accept the fact that 8 central banks have run deficits.
But you saw Switzerland, you saw US, you saw UK. Which other ones should have? Germany and all of that. You saw them. Then you saw the world powers.
Let's talk about even the countries that you've mentioned. All of these countries have learned to developing economies like Ghana. And typical of your government, who is going to meet multilaterals to arrange another DDEP, have had to cut a lot of these fundings out and count their losses because of the mismanagement of appointees like your Nanado's cabinet. She says on the demonstration, before we go to Central Bank, she says we should give respect to the seat of government because that is where the president is.
And I also mentioned civil servants who also
and civil servants. But who said that when your president, you can't protest at your president's office? Where is that forbidden? Don't you see demonstrators in front of the White House?
No, but they are being guided. Are they allowed to just walk around? They go anywhere in the White House. They are being guided. That's exactly what the police outside the White House. That is exactly what the police are trying to do. To direct them on where they should.
Don't you see? You said I shouldn't interrupt when you are talking. You don't interrupt when I'm talking. Don't you see protesters attend Downing streets? Kwame.
I do.
No, so what is this about? We shouldn't allow protesters to go near the seat of government.
As a matter of fact, even in the UK quite recently, you had some people also even demonstrate against the ambassador to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even the monarch
supported by
people even demonstrate against the monarch in front of Windsor Castle.
No, so are they not directed? Can they just go in there?
In 2014, 2015, when your so-called Occupy Ghana, that trademark organization that today they've never occupied anything, decided to go on demonstration, made up of people who were waiting to take appointments from Akufo-Addo, decided to occupy Flagstaff House. Kwame, were they not allowed?
They were allowed.
When they finished, they went to sit at Afrikiko to eat and drink. The people who were complaining, the people all work and no play. The people who were complaining that they were dying in the dying economy after going to picket at Jubilee House, went to sit at Afrikiko to God, MBB, to enjoy buffet, local buffet. Then they'll come and tell people that they are really in poverty.
You know who made a job?
These people.
A few minutes ago.
These people were met at Jubilee House Gate by Honorable Valerie Soya, Dr. Valerie Soya, and Omane Buaba, and their petition was accepted. For this Occupy movement, young Occupy Jurobi movement, they were not even allowed to go beyond 37 military hospital. In fact, the police decided to keep them at the interchange. Is it a Buzia statue that's at that interchange? Wherever that interchange is, and hold the traffic there for 3 days. Which one was more of an inconvenience to the people of Ghana? At a time when neither Akufo-Addo nor Bawumia was even in Jubilee House. Akufo-Addo was out of the country. Bawumia was campaigning somewhere in the Brong-Ahafo region. Now let's talk about her comment on Bank of Ghana. She says Bank of Ghana is supposed to ensure price stability, a stable financial sector, lender of last resort. After all that, they still ran a deficit. After all that, they still managed to partake in the mismanagement of Ghana's economy. We were here where banks, commercial banks, were collapsed because they were supposed to have been having liquidation challenges. This same central bank today is in the same difficulty, and they're telling us that because we are the central bank and the lender of last resort, you just have to accept the fact that we've run losses and let's all move on. Nothing happens. Nobody bears the consequences. Nobody is held responsible. And then we just sit here and accept it as it is. How is that possible? Today, Addison must go. Someone must fall for the mismanagement and the incompetence of Akufo-Addo's administration. And Addison will be the first to go today. After Addison, Ken Ofori-Atta will follow. His protest will also come. As for him, he will be escorted out of Ministry of Finance. when she was talking about how they managed to get this debt, said impairment, DDEPs, and cocoa loans. Again, let's talk about DDEPs. Why are we here for DDEP? Is it not because the government overborrowed, did not put the money to any productive use? Chop, and consumption on because tomorrow will never come. All they care about is cars and houses. No productivity. One day straight to one factory, Yamutu. Planting for food and jobs part 1, Yamutu. One dam, one whatever, Yamutu. Every place where they went and borrowed, last time I was here, we were talking about a debt of now 572 billion Ghana cedis. Kwame. And all these monies were not put to productive use to serve this nation. These STEM schools that you're talking about, they have started, they are constructing. They have not completed one. Like so many of their projects, they start, they don't complete. It's like witchcraft.
How do you enroll?
They start, they don't complete, and then they leave their thing anyhow. So all that 572 billion, that the Bank of Ghana supported Kenoforiata to dump on our heads. No, this is the end result. As we said, Addison will go, Ken will go. Akufo-Addo himself has already given up. That man checked out a long time ago. He says he's waiting for the successor to now come and take us out of our doldrums because Onagasaka Wapaba. And then I don't know who the successor is, but clearly it is not Baumia. But we assure the people of Ghana that come what may, 2024 will come very soon. And they'll get the opportunity to vote His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC to come and fix the mistakes, mismanagement, incompetence, drawback of Nana Akufo-Addo's administration and move Ghana to where she ought to sit amongst the League of Nations.
Very well. Well, Gabi, is MPP looting the station, the nation? Because that's what
Ken says. Like tomorrow will never come. Yeah. How do you think they came to that 572 billion? That was the looting, no. And the painful part is, Kwame, even if they were taking this monies and doing something productive with this crack, ordinary Ghanaian will benefit. They travel unnecessarily, lavish lifestyles. She who's coming to speak for them because she hasn't benefited. Yes, she's taking her pen, she started writing.
No, there is time for everything. So whether or not I've benefited is my own cup of tea. I don't know, I have to do my work. Absolutely. And I get paid for my work. Absolutely. So whether or not I've benefited, that one, Gabi, that's none of your business. Yeah, it's not for you to say. I don't feed from your pocket. So that one day.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. But proceed, Gabi. Let her finish and then you come.
So, Kwame, this is their own party member, Kennedy Agyepong, soon to be flag bearer of the MPP, the radical one.
Hey, you think he will win?
This the election. It is the grassroots versus the establishment, and the grassroots always has the numbers. Those delegates who did not benefit anything from Akufo-Addo Bawumia's administration over the last 8 years.
They go mafia.
They will mafia them off.
Go ahead.
They think that they've managed to put their people in positions all over. But 200,000 delegates, fear delegates, they'll collect your money, they'll still vote against you. So the ballot is a secret. So you don't even know where they voted for. You came 8 years, you didn't do anything for me. And because you want to be flag bearer, when everybody knows that you are going into opposition, I'll take their money. And I'll go and vote for somebody as radical as Kennedy Agyepong. Okay. So clearly, Kennedy is as you already know, he's a radical individual, no holds barred personality. He says whatever he wants to say, and now the NPP has to bear the consequences of his rhetorics. Last time I heard him speak, he says he went attacking Wontumi. He went protecting Alan. He went attacking Wontumi. I hear he's going to do a press conference today. I don't know how he's going to respond to him. And then he mentioned that the NPP is chopping like tomorrow will never come. And the NPP is like a cobra. In spirituality, when they mention the cobra is a snake, that is grand deception. Because everybody thinks that all you see is a long thread. And when it winds itself around you, it can kill you. That is grand deception. That's how he describes Akufo-Addo's administration. Well, which is not surprising because we all know that is what the administration is like. It has been nothing short of a deceptive organization running a deceptive government with nothing short of hardship and difficulties and challenges.
Okay. Thank you. Let me read a few messages on Facebook and then I'll come to you, Grace, and then we conclude. Yusuf Gaza Sofian says, good morning to you, KOD. Well, good morning to you. Komesa and Pilatu. Okay. Domiko Abenya Konso says, no matter everything, inshallah, Dr. Baumia will bring the age. Simple regards to Honorable Kojo Crunchy Abodwe say incoming MP for Botiano English among from by Mensa Abodwe say Rico Jack said the biggest sellout ever. I wouldn't stay there out of principle only. COVID was a colonizer's dream lie. Let's remember Akoto in prayers for the demise of a senior bro and former President Kufuor's wife, Mama Theresa. May her soul rest in the bosom of the Lord and her spirit bless Akoto, her younger husband, with victory in November 4 polls. Thank you. Edward Duboja said, these MPP guys are only good in propaganda and sloganeering. The government has not created any jobs. Are the STEM graduates going to work on the moon? If Jubilee House is high security zone, didn't the Kufuor's daughter send some rogue musician to do some musical recordings there? Well, thank you very much for your messages. Let me end with you, Grace. Yes, madam.
About the limited registration exercise, I know officially it ended yesterday.
You don't want to talk about Ken, eh?
But then I stood in the queue as at 5 p.m. yesterday. Yeah. They can go and then do their registration today. Today has been.
But it's the final day. It's the last day.
Yeah, but then.
But the numbers are not because the 700,000. They've not even gotten a quarter of it.
I believe.
No, I think initially it was 700,000 people to register.
I believe EC will still, there will be some form of extension of the date. For
no, they said they will extend it. They said they will extend it. So that's a danger. But you see, that's a danger. I don't know how we're going to. But they said next year they will open.
Yeah, okay. So we want all eligible voters to register so that they can exercise their franchise in 2024 to elect whom they want to take over from this current competent NPP government. And then Gabi was talking about planting for food and jobs having not been a success. But when you do something and it's not successful, how do you go on to roll out a second phase? So it means the first phase was a success. That is why we've been able to roll out a second phase, where we are going to ensure food security, we ensure price of food and services are down and all of that. And now we are trying to make agric very palatable for the youth to also venture into it. And Nana Kwame, you know this one day. I'm not the one saying it. Now there are a lot of youth who are venturing into agric and all of that. And then about the looting and then the creation and the sharing, I'm happy she said, I have not even benefited from the government. Yes, she knows how my life is, and then whether or not I've benefited, she's seeing it. So it tells you that as I sit here and I speak for government, my life and what I do on a daily basis tells you I'm not even benefiting from the government. I'm not getting some of the create, loot and share. So where is the create, loot and share? Who is creating, who is looting, who is sharing? Because I'm a perfect example of those who haven't benefited. As for Cecilia Dapa, as for her issue, I don't want us to go into it. But if you bring her issue up, somebody who has led her life, the one is 70 years for crying out loud. Her husband is an architect. She herself has businesses and all of that. So until OSP or the courts come out with a ruling that yes, the monies were stolen from Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, we can't sit here and then lambast Honorable Cecilia Dapa for where the money or the source of the money. Besides, she went to the court, she went to the police station to report herself. So if the money is from her ministry or wherever, do you think she will still be the one to go to the police station to?
Very well.
Anyway,
my time is up.
For Cecilia
Dapa. I've seen pictures of. I've seen pictures.
You didn't talk. You used all your time to talk about. Yes, I used just a little. You even spoke more than me.
Respectfully, Gaps. Occupied Bank of Ghana demo. I've seen Comrade Gafaru there. I've seen Daniel Alitu Kasagatu. I've seen Okujeto Blakwa. I've seen Rashid Pelpo. Who are these ladies? I don't know. Okay, so Betis is also there. Hey, it'll be easy. You know, Safuseni. Hey, wow.
Let me say a good morning to Anabo Dafiamepo. He was watching.
Oh, Dafiamepo, our brother. We love him so much. Is he there? Is he also demonstrating?
I don't know.
Okay. Good morning to you, Honorable Dafiamepo.
Viewer of your show.
Oh, Honorable, eh?
Yeah.
So why doesn't he want to come?
You haven't called him.
Oh, no, it's not true. The producers, he himself, he knows. He knows there's been countless number of invitations. He knows that I don't lie.
You're one of his favorite shows.
Oh,
you can call him.
Honorable, then please, avail yourself to be called. A special good morning to you, Senior Counsel. And I trust you're doing well. If you're in Accra, please let us know so we can call you. Gabs, thank you. Thank you very much. Grace, thank you very much. We still have an unfinished business. You know, we have to finish our deal.
We have
it's important.
Well, don't say deal before she says.
No.
Please, I beg.
Blessed Headman Aloma So will come back with Ohima. We will bring you up to speed with what is happening currently at. Well, I don't know whether they are still at Obrasport or they've left. They are at Obrasport now. Okay, very well. So Bless, I think some of our reporters are there. Bless will be communicating with them very shortly. You may want to still stick and stay with Pan-African Television because here, you know, we tell the truth. We won't dilute it. We won't do any propaganda. We won't try to embellish things for the purposes of views. We will state it as it is and we'll bring you the relevant information. So stay with us here on Pan-African Television. The morning show continues. My name, again, is Kwame Owusu-Danso.